And you're live on Dead Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Dead Radio with your main man, Baggy is Dead, powered by the beautiful people that play Energy Drink. Shala Black Brick, this is one of their rooms, cozy if you ask me or we. Today we got a special guest. You know we only deal with special guests, especially on this season finale part 1. We're going to have another part 2. But yeah, I don't know if our guest knows this or doesn't know this, but so we don't introduce any of our guests.
Have to introduce ourselves.
You have to introduce yourself. So yeah, you're gonna get into it. Before we get into that, that camera's for you, that camera's for us, and the camera's for me. So when you introduce yourself, it'd be great to look at that camera type thing, like if you can. But anyway, so yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. So do I introduce myself now?
Yes, you do.
Ish. I wish I was always in a constant state of coming and going, so that I never have to introduce myself and I never have to say goodbye.
It's always gonna have to happen though. It's one of those.
Yeah. Which camera?
That one. Relax.
Okay. Hi guys, I am Shala, better known as Shala The Unicorn. I am an art director, a director, and a fine artist. Hella fine. Get me. Emphasis on... I'm joking.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay.
It's not my fault the job description has the word fine in it.
No, I'm not saying it's your fault. Like, okay, not at all. What's your full name, though?
My full name?
Yeah.
Shala?
No, like your full name. I've never heard your full name, ever.
You want to hear my government name now?
Okay, it's cool.
Shala Martin.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's actually not bad at all.
Yeah, I have 2 other names as well.
Okay.
You want to hear all of them?
If you want to. Are you comfortable?
Shala, Sherelle, Jasmine, Martin.
Okay. Look at that. It's actually quite some good names. Why do you sound like you're not too sure?
I like short names, quickly. Just
Shala's very short though.
Exactly. That's why I go with that one, because...
The other one's Jasmine.
Quick.
Jasmine is also short? Not at all? But anyway, okay. So, that's how everything starts. Well, let's talk about your background, because that kind of obviously contributes to who a person is. And then from there we just pick it out. Like, it's just one of those things. At some point in time, you're going to forget there's cameras here. I don't want it to feel like an interview, so you don't really have to look at them. You can if you want to type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so where did you grow up and like where you from?
Where did I grow up? I kind of grew up everywhere, to be honest. But I know saying everywhere is basically saying no way.
Not really.
But yeah, really. But I grew up in Joburg most of my life, and then we kind of just moved around a lot. I was visiting family in Cape Town, in Bloemfontein a lot.
Okay.
Just all of the places except Durban for some reason.
Okay.
Some reason.
So everywhere except Durban. So
yeah.
You've been up north?
Actually, no, not really. Not really. But when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere around Joburg.
Okay.
Everywhere around Joburg, Gauteng, and then Free State, and then Cape Town.
Okay. And then where did you school? And
where did I school? People are gonna roast me, dog. People are gonna roast me. I'm being roasted because of this, because apparently my school didn't have grass. So they say we're buying water at the tuck shop. I got roasted the other day.
But in South Africa, like
I get
that actually
that.
should be a norm, respectfully.
I get that. Okay, I went to a couple of schools because I moved around a lot. I think I went to 3 different preschools, 2 different primary schools, and 2 different high schools.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was never satisfied.
Of course. Do you think that contributed to like how
my development?
Your development, but also how you think today, like how easy it is for you to get like certain concepts and how you manage to execute them?
Yeah, because a big part of my job is networking and maintaining relationships, and
Right.
I was constantly the new girl. I was the new girl everywhere.
Right.
And even in my industry, I'm the new girl, so it kind of gave me that skill. I learned that skill to just throw myself in a completely new environment and then learn and build groups of people that I can work with, groups of people that I can communicate with, and
Right. So it basically made it easier for
it
you.
made it easy for me. Yeah.
To what's this? To talk to people. Talk to people and introduce yourself. So in any space, you can kind of.
I'm comfortable in any space.
Right.
For a long time, I was like searching for a place to call like home and a place that I thought was the best place in my
Right.
field to be. And I was moving around a lot, and I realized all of that stuff is not external. Like, it's really internal. Like, home is where you are. Like the
What
art,
makes you say
I can't
that,
be
though?
chasing the art when the art is like here.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because I always felt like I need to run away from my background. I need to run away from somewhere to go somewhere. But the things that you run away from, you end up running towards very easily.
Right.
Yeah,
And
so
that's-
even my school with no grass, shame. I'm alumni there. I want to go back there and be like,
Let me get you guys
what
some
school
grass.
is? By the way, the school is Princess Primary, Horizon View Primary,
Okay.
Westridge High. You're infamous for crime. And then the National School of Arts. I think that's where we got
NSA,
affiliated.
right.
Yeah, and then I went to go and study at UCT. I went to Michaelis.
What did you study at UCT?
Fine art.
Did you like it?
No.
Why?
I think I'm just a bad student.
What does that even
I'm
mean?
just a really bad student. Like, I hate deadlines. I'm kind of like the typical artist that's just like lives in their head, and like, I live in my head a lot.
So what do you do when there's a deadline? Just
What do I do?
I'm curious.
I go into a state of panic for 2 weeks and do nothing. And then on like 3 days before, I'm like, actually,
I gotta do
damn,
that shit.
I think I gotta do that thing, because it takes me so long to develop an idea. I think the idea is more important to me than the actual execution, because
100%.
so it takes research, so much research. I need to be constantly reading, and I need different source material. I need movies, I need books, I need music, I need literature, I need everything, to build around that concept, because it's not just, I don't want to just do stuff because they're cool.
Right.
I need to
Right.
do stuff that speaks to our time, that speaks to my background, and speaks to the future.
So would you say you read a lot?
I try my best. I do read a lot, but I know that it's so time consuming, and our attention span right now,
Terrible.
it lasts for 30 seconds.
30 seconds, dude.
So I make sure that I read very like short readings, essays, and I read certain sections of certain books, and then I
Right.
take what I need, and then I go back if I need something else, or
Right. And what
Yeah.
about movies? Because I find a lot of my inspiration from movies as well. It's just like, I like watching movies and see how people dress, because I feel like,
how they dress.
yeah, like I feel like dressing up is like you're partaking on a set, basically. Like sometimes I wake up and feel like I want to look like this type of person, and that's how I dress. So when I watch a movie or anything like that, I'm always looking at the costumes and like get a lot of inspiration from the costumes, how people dress, and what's the first thing that comes to my head when someone's dressed like that. Like, when you see someone wearing a suit with flary pants and all that stuff.
It's like, what are you trying to say?
Immediately like 90s. That guy, this shoot is from the 90s. This is a 90s movie. So I like how the tailoring and the patterns and the finishes on clothes already communicates with our brain before we even think it's dope. We already know what time it's from. So I find that really dope. So I get a lot of those symbolisms from like movies. A lot of them. That's why I don't like watching like series and like sitcoms and all that nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense, but to me it's just like I really prefer like watching movies and documentaries mostly, and like if it's gonna be a series, it's gonna be a series as a documentary because I'm just an extremist, dude. Like if I start a series right now, I have to finish it right now.
I finish it same day. I'm the same. So I love anime, but I can't commit to an anime. They have like 500 episodes. And the thing is, I need to get to the bottom of it now. Like now.
Yep. It's like Death Note. Like I watched Death Note like ages ago. One of the best animes I don't know if it's anime. Can I call it anime?
What?
Death Note.
Yes.
It's like one of the best animes I've watched. And I've only watched like 2, 3, so that's probably something bad. That's something very bad for me to say. But it's I learned so much of that than me actually watching Death Note. You know what I mean? Like I learned like I think it's a really dope anime, but yeah.
I'm into anime films, but also I'm mostly influenced by movies. Mostly. Even in like, I think people will pick it up in like a couple of years, but there's so many movie references in everything I do. Even as like a kid, it used to be like almost an escape. Art always used to be my escape because I was always surrounded by people, but I was a very lonely child. And I was quiet. So I'd spend like 5 hours drawing something or building something. I was always making something. I don't know why I felt so idle. Like I felt if I'm not making something, I still even get that today. Like I get anxiety if I'm not
making something.
I need to be making something. Yeah, every single time.
Did you feel your escape?
It was an escape in the beginning. Like I would go to there was this movie store this video store.
Right.
That was in town, and my mom was like, just go get all of the movies, and it was like 25 rand for five videos.
Right.
It was lit. So I'd go to especially the horror section for some reason, but I loved horror movies.
So would you say you're dark? Yes, no?
I don't think I'm dark. I was just so intrigued by like a different perspective. I was so intrigued by immense emotion. Rather than, light-hearted things are great, but, the stuff that really sticks in your mind is like...
Yeah.
It's like we can have 100 happy moments and smiles and everything, but you're going to remember in your one instant where I made you mad.
Yes.
One instant, and you're going to be like, yes, fuck that girl, dog. Because I remember the one time she ate both my McDonald's meals. But then the whole time we've been, so
100%.
So it's not really me focusing on darkness. It's just me gravitating towards what I think is more
memorable,
more intense, more And also my work is so deeply tied into trauma, into really, really intense feelings of emotions. I think almost every work that I've done that I am like proud of has come out of tension, has come out of the immense pressure.
Okay.
And challenging myself to the point where I had to get rid of so much self-doubt and just throw myself in there and have no resources and be building from scratch from everything and, challenging myself personally and everything I know about myself. The best works come out of them. Right. My worst work has come out of me having the best resources, the best budget. It's just like
it's weird, right?
Yeah, because having challenges forces you to innovate. It forces you to think on your feet.
On your feet.
Yeah. If things are too easy,
you don't think on your feet because it comes easily.
And
totally get it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anything that comes easily is not entirely worth it. However, I also feel like that's a very weird way to live because does that mean we always have to struggle to
always
really
have
be
to be on edge?
Like, or do we always have to be like, it's kind of like toxic in a way.
It is toxic. It's a very toxic relationship that I have with myself because I don't easily accept something that doesn't challenge me. Like, I hate easy work. Yo. The thing is, I read this thing that said that artists always choose the hardest way out. And I'm not falling under that. I was always like, nah, that's not true. But then if I think about it, it's kind of true. It's kind of true because I think it's almost a form of like self-sabotage because we know that the outcome would be lit, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think, now, going back to your story,
Yeah.
do you think, or did you know, like your whole life, that fine art is what you were going to study in university?
I did.
Like from what age did you realize that this is what I'm sticking with?
I don't think there was an age where I decided. I was just always doing it. And I didn't know what to call it, like, at all. I remember there's so many photos of me as a kid making stuff. Like, I'm busy drawing, and there was this kid in creche. He was the teacher's son, right?
Right.
And everyone was like so obsessed with him because he was like a bit older than us.
Okay.
And he could draw Goku and Vegeta and
Right.
all that. And then I'm looking at his drawings, I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Come on, dog. Bring me that paper. I'm like, let me show you a little something.
So you stole the whole shine.
I was like, I might have killed his dreams there. I did, but by accident. I just felt like his work was a bit lazy. I was like, you know. And then I continued making stuff. I even like built. I started getting recycled materials, and I built this huge city in my room.
What?
It was like a small maquette of things.
How old were you?
I think I was in grade 2. I was 8 or 7.
Nuts.
Yeah. I was building this city. I called it Carlton View for some reason, and it was close to Christmas. It was around this time.
Right.
So I actually built it so that I could decorate the town for Christmas.
Oh, crazy.
I don't know why, but so I was always making something and drawing, and we had an art class at Princess Primary, and I thought that was the most important shit for me. It was like once a week, but it was my favorite time. It was my favorite time of the whole week. And then I found myself on stage with an award and a certificate, and it said art. And I was like,
what?
I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Is this real?
Is this like a thing? That I was very confused about it, but I was like, oh shit. And then I was in the newspaper a couple of weeks after that for my drawings. They like made an exhibition for me. So they put all my drawings for the year and they put it up. And then I didn't even know how I got up there. And I was in the local newspaper for that. And then I was like, so this thing that I'm doing is actually like a thing. Like, I'm not doing this for fun. Like, it's fun for me, and then fast forward, I was still always that kid at the back of the class drawing. And then my one friend told me, she's like, dude, so actually, why don't you, there's like an art school. Why don't you, I was like, an art school? What do you mean?
What is that?
Do you mean people go to school and go and do this? Like, recapping. Because I used to get in trouble for drawing all the time. They'd confiscate. They'd be like, you're not focusing, you're not, you know?
Right.
And then I was like, shit, there's an art school. And I was in grade 10 at this time. And I was like, isn't it a bit too late to like change schools now? Go to an art school where I know nobody. I don't even know that place. And there was this one teacher in particular that irritated the shit out of me. Oh my God.
Why?
Because she would just never she would never help me, or like she'd never see like that I really, really was serious about this and I really wanted to do this. I would bunk every class except hers. And she hated me. And I was like, I hate you too, but I have to be here. Because I like this.
Right.
And I remember there was this one huge textbook of hers. It's the history of modern art. And all I wanted to do was read. And all I wanted to do is consume like as much art information as I can.
Right.
And theory. And I didn't think we were getting enough theory in class. So I asked her, can I borrow the book? She's like, no. She has 4 of them. That's like up there. I said, can I just borrow one? I just wanna read. She's like, no. She's like, no, the Great Owls are using it. They need it for the exam. I was like, dude, the dust on those things are here. Nobody's reading that shit. Nobody's reading that shit. And I was just like, you actually hate me. And then I remember one time I was competing with a friend. Oh, I ended up stealing that book, by the way. Yeah, I stole it one time.
Did she notice that it was gone?
No! Fuck her. And on top of that, me and a friend were competing in class, right?
Right.
With our marks.
Right.
We wanted to get the highest marks in the class.
Right.
So she's reading out the marks. Now she says, I'm going to read out the highest mark. And then the rest, you'll know what you got. My heart's beating so fast. I'm here. I'm like, shit.
Right.
She says, I think like a 95. And she says it's that guy. So I'm like, fuck.
So he beat you?
No, listen. She reads it out. She says, congratulations, the whole class is here. I'm like, fuck. Damn. I was like, shit, and I was keeping me big all the time. I said, you don't know anything. And then I got my mark back. My mark was 97.
So she just didn't
fuck with me. So
she's like, I'm not gonna fucking say anything about
she didn't say shit. So I was like, you know what? Shut up, it's fine. And I just applied to the art school and I was like, fuck you guys, dog. And then I
went to art school.
I went to art school.
And then that's when you realized.
And I knew from the get-go that I wanted to study fine art. I wanted to do art all the time. Like there was never a plan B. Like my parents were like, no, you need to like maybe also apply for fashion and apply for like stuff that you like music and stuff. I was like, okay. And I did to show them, but I manipulated all of my portfolios in order to only get accepted for arts.
So the main aim was arts.
From the beginning, from when I was born.
Dope. So then you go to UCT, you study arts, fine, you don't like deadlines. I'm assuming...
Worst student on the planet.
I'm assuming you drop out.
Worst student on the planet.
You drop... What year was this?
Last year.
Okay. So you decide... No, COVID. Are you sure last year? It's COVID year.
Yeah, that's the time I was like, actually, I can't do this because I'm also juggling work. I just thought I need a break. So, I really need a break.
So in your mind, you're going to go back?
I'll think about it.
No, you were. Like, when you, initially...
Oh, no. In my mind, I was like...
Just yo, man, I
was like, actually, I don't need this because also, it develops your skill and your thinking, but nothing after that. Like, you don't know how to be an entrepreneur. You don't know how to market yourself. You don't know about the market, like the current market, nothing. Right. And art is kind of like an ivory tower where only the elites are kind of mentored and taken to the next level. And it's also very dependent on your resources. How much can you afford? Art is mad expensive to make art.
Yeah, it's just, I think everything in the art industry, including fashion and all this stuff, is so classist.
The quality of your work, it's
determined by your resources,
how much you can afford.
Extremely weird.
Which is kind of unfair.
It is.
I could dispute that and say, what I just said right now is that the best work is made out of the least resources, but that's 1 out of 10, hey? That you really have to work.
That's not for everyone.
You have to work 10 times harder.
100%, but at the same time, your mind also has to work in a different way. Your mind has to work in such a way to understand that you can make something out of nothing, where I've come to notice that not actually everyone's mind thinks that. Everyone's mind really doesn't, it's impossible to get something out of nothing to them.
Because it kind of is impossible. I remember trying to shoot my first video.
Okay.
With almost 10 rand. Yeah, fuck.
Who are you shooting your first video for?
I'm not leaking. Okay, but we're shooting my first video and it wouldn't have happened if people didn't believe in the project because nobody was paid. There wasn't a guarantee of success.
Right.
It's a huge risk here.
100%.
We had
putting in all your time for
we managed to hustle a red camera, but that was just for free, off favors and off but right now, if I have a name like this right now and I'm asking you, please can you just do this thing for free? Not a chance. So it kind of gets harder. But it gets so much harder because,
I won't lie.
And I can't expect people to work free, obviously. I won't do that because I know how that's like. But building something out of nothing is literally impossible right now.
I don't think it is. It's not a thing about right now. You've got a point there, right? And I was thinking about this literally probably this week and a couple of days ago where I was thinking about how a lot of the places I've been, a lot of the opportunities I've received were all opportunities I got because I was at the right place doing something that someone else would have done for money. You know what I mean? I did it for free.
You're right.
And the reason why I did it for free is because I could see that, okay, here, I'm dealing with people that value me, and I'm dealing with people that understand exactly what my input is. And because of that, the more they see my value, when I actually don't have time to do that, that's when they'll be like, okay, dude, I need you now to make time for this. And that's where the money conversation starts, because that's the easiest way for me to make, like, to get your time, is to give you money. You know what I mean? So I think about, like, it's a conversation I have with a lot of homies. It's like, this generation, the only thing that, because we're called, like, it's called the microwave generation or whatever, but the only thing we kind of have wrong is that, like, we really truly believe that we should be getting paid for anything, and the first thing we need to be building is, like, trust. Like, there's a lot of doubt. Like, imagine you come in and you want me to give you like 100,000 for video. I haven't really seen that many videos, and it's just like, yo, man, like, I hear you're worth that, but do you really want me to trust you with that amount? You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's a double-edged sword. You just need to, especially in a place like Joburg, it's a double-edged sword, because you can put yourself in a line for a lot of people that will never ever come back. So you just need to know, like, who's worth being on the line for, like, for real.
But that's very tricky, because it's a whole lot of trial and error, hey?
100%. You're gonna hate yourself for a lot of decisions you make as well.
Shit. I know that. I know that for sure. And also, like, you can't do this thing alone. Like, I've realized, like, I've always tried to be alone, because I told you, I was hella lonely as a kid, and I didn't need no group work. It's me. And all the project is just me. I'm doing everything around the project. And then now I'm in production and all of these things all together. And even now, even for my fine art right now, I'm not an island. Like, I need people. Like, I need a team, and I need a, like, reliable team. I need a team that also sees the vision and not just there for weird reasons. Because there's a whole lot of flashing lights in this industry, and it kind of blinds you from
the main vision.
Yeah.
Do you think you've ever been blinded?
Yeah.
Even for a split second?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think you came back?
Fully. Because, you always picture yourself in this light, and you hold yourself to the standard, and as soon as you get there, you're like, maybe I need to make a U-turn and backtrack just a little bit, because I'm still not happy where I'm here. I need to go back to the reason why I started doing this, instead of because you follow money, like, you follow money, because first you're chasing the dream, then the dream starts bringing in cash, then the dream starts
dwindling, because now you're like, I need to upkeep it. You need to upkeep the money.
Things, and you need money, so
I mean,
get that.
That's very true, right? And I was thinking about it as well the other day, that, you need money, but I think what you need money for is more important than you actually needing money. And what I obviously mean by that is that it's really possible to get money and really not know what to do with it, and start doing everything besides what you actually wanted to use the money for. Which is making you a better artist or whatever it is, or having like
investing in your craft.
100%. So, okay, cool. You leave Cape Town, I'm assuming, as you drop out, come to Joburg. Do you have a plan when you come to Joburg?
Yeah, well, when I was in Cape Town, I was always in Joburg.
Okay.
Because I always had work here.
Right.
So I was already building my portfolio. I was on both ends.
Right.
Just trying to juggle everything.
Okay.
Impossible. Guys, don't do that. Guys, don't do that. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. I do want to be in the film industry, and I want to do my fine art, because I always had this battle. I was always like, I can't do both. I can't be a jack of all trades and master at none. I need to be master at one. But, the love kind of just draws me to visuals.
Right.
And because to me, it's one and the same thing, I'm still making paintings. It's just moving now. They're just moving images,
100%.
in videos, it's all one and the same to me. Yeah, so that fight is gone, that conflict is gone. So my plan was always to move in the direction of making visuals and then also building my traditional fine art. Because I always thought it needs to be traditional to be almost like credible.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
I was always like disregarding like digital work, for instance, because I was like, it's not like the masters, you know, the masters are all here up with their hands, they're busy working, and then you get digital work, which is almost the same thing, but I didn't see that it was also like not really frowned down upon.
Yes.
In like the fine art world. Because it's more design, I guess.
And they think it's less work, it takes more less intention apparently.
Less intention,
Yeah.
and it's more form follows function, and everything there has a function. And I'm like, it's not really like that, because now we're moving, you know, we're moving art.
Right.
Yeah, I always thought
Right.
art was so stagnant, and that's what it is, and that's what it's going to stay. But if I look at the timeline, it constantly moves, and right now we're moving. So I can't be saying like, no, I'm only going to be painting with my hands, and then, you know, I'm not going to consider my music video or
100%.
as fine art. No.
You gotta consider it because they're one and the same thing.
They're one and the same thing. I could have an exhibition with just music videos. What you gonna tell me? You're gonna tell me? Exactly.
That's actually a good idea. You don't say things like that on camera.
Oh,
I'm joking.
it's fine. Do it, guys. Ideas to share, guys.
I'm joking. I'm just messing with you. Okay, cool. Get to Joburg. What's your first move? Like, because now you're in Joburg, obviously you have to make money.
Oh, the first thing I was like, I need to make money. So I was like, shit, these creative projects are eating my money, because there's usually no money in like your creative passion projects.
Right.
So I was like, I need
something to make you money to make your creative project.
So I started doing some commercials.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all never see them. Probably.
Why do you think I'll never
I'll
see
put them on my portfolio, but like I don't like put it on blast like that. It's just because
it's not you. It was just to make a buck.
You will see some instances, some little suggestions of me, but
Okay.
it's not like, it's very stick to client brief, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have a lot of creative freedom, and I like creative freedom.
Same.
Like, and I don't wanna. I try to do as little commercial work, like
commercial, like influencer stuff, right?
influencer stuff, but I mean like actual commercials, like ads.
Like ads.
Like
when you have to
ads,
smile at the
dog.
camera.
Not
Okay.
me. I mean me and like on the production.
Oh,
side
the
of it.
production. Oh,
Yeah,
come
I
on.
don't like.
Why wouldn't you? Like, that could actually be like a really good ass side job.
But you know what starts happening?
What? You get swallowed.
No. You start getting booked because you can produce something to
The client brief.
a quality and the client brief.
So,
But then you stop developing a style. So I've always wanted to get booked for my style and not because I can bring you a quality whatever you want. You know?
Right.
Because, you know, I don't want to just be an ad agency or like, because they can do everything, which is great for them. We need them. I'm not saying
Yes,
they
yes,
suck.
yes.
We definitely need them, but I don't want to get booked for my style. They're going to have to say, we need
This.
Shala to do this thing
100%.
because only Shala can do this thing, and we need Shala's mind to do that thing. We don't need a good quality whatever.
You need her mind. Word. That's
So I'm building my style. That's what I'm trying to do, is less work that includes like these hefty client briefs, and rather just doing my own weird projects so people can be like, okay, this is her style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get into doing that. And then what's the first thing that you do that's outside of that?
Outside of that?
Yeah. Like, what's the first thing you actually do where you feel like, fuck, this is actually what I've been meaning to do?
Well, there's been some compromises. Like, outside of that, I've been doing music videos, which is kind of like half and half. We do have more creative freedom.
Right.
When it comes to that.
You do.
It's also kind of short, so it's not a movie, so it's not going to take me 2 years to do. So it is also kind of
like a week and you're done.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. And I also have to pitch like whatever is in my mind to this person. And
so you put it on a mood board?
I usually first hear the song, if I like it, then I treat for it, send them all treatments, send them my idea, and then tell them what it's going to cost, and then...
What if you don't like it?
I don't do it.
No, seriously, what if you don't like it? You seriously don't do it? No, like, no joke, I'm being serious.
The thing is, I don't, like, it's not smart for me to do that, because there's a lot of songs that, you know, there's a lot of projects.
Yeah, I mean, I could wake up tomorrow and now I have a song that you don't like, but then the day after that I wake up and you have a song that I like.
But I'm doing it for your sake. I'm not doing it for me, because I know if I'm going to do it, my heart's not going to be in it, and then I'm not going to produce like the highest quality that I want. So I have to feel some type of connection to the song, because I know myself.
Right.
It's going to end up being like, work. Damn, now I gotta do this thing. Let me just finish it. And I never want to do that, because it's just not genuine enough. And like, for my art, something that I want to be completely consistent about is just honesty.
Right.
I want people to like really feel the honesty in it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's rather interesting. Okay, cool. So I want to ask one last question, right? It's not really a question, but I hate calling it a question. But at one point, do you feel like, maybe not at one point, what's the one thing that happened that you feel was the easiest way for you to connect and to be able to do what you do in Johannesburg?
What's the easiest way to connect?
No, what's the one thing that made it easier, or the easiest way for you? Like, let's say maybe I'm an artist, came to Joburg, met you, you are my friend, you showed me this other guy was like, yo dude, let's work. So my one thing that made things easier is you, for argument's sake, just an example. So like, not necessarily like that, but what's the one thing that happened in your career or in your life that was just like a change in how you take in energy, and how you can execute stuff, and how you can talk to people?
I think, because I'm very blunt most of the time. Like, I'll tell you, this shit sucks, dog. Like, I'm very passionate, you know?
Right.
So I'm honest about what I think about things.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna be like, yo, this is hard.
Right.
Because I picture you as me, and I'm like, if my shit was sucking, like, please, God, tell me, like, so that I can improve, you know?
Right.
Don't just leave me hanging. So I didn't know how to talk to people that I need to work with, like clients, for a while. Because now you're sending me a song, I'm like, yo, whack.
It sucks.
Whack. Don't you have another song? I can't say things like that, you know? So what I really needed was a mentor that knows how to work with people, that is very like familiar with...
That's alarm, by the way. Just bang it. Bang the door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Nah. So I needed mentors. So I constantly needed mentors, actually. And I even was like people were mentoring me and they didn't know they were mentoring me.
Right.
Yeah, I
Did
would
you just ask questions?
Nah, we just hang out.
Right.
We just hang out, and we'd have conversations, and I'd be like, oh, okay, so and then the people who actually said, okay, I'm actually gonna mentor you,
Dope.
As a friend. Taught me how to speak to people sometimes and kind of water down what I want to say, and then they package it in a nice, and they say, okay, so what I needed is really mentors. And in Joburg, I think I found some of the best mentors to also help me move around and help me get to know people, and because cosigns is a thing. I mean, you could be without it, but you do need it because of that risk that we were talking about. So I can't say, you need to work with Bangy because
he's dope.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to read out the credentials.
Yeah,
Right.
And you need that. I mean, if someone like the president is yo, Bangy's lit, they're gonna take his word for it, They're gonna take his word for it. So definitely cosigns, definitely mentors, and I would actually suggest that people need to find mentors, even if those people are like, yo, dog, me, I'm not mentoring you. Just learn from them, like be around them, be around those spaces, so that you can learn. I learned a lot through conversation, and I take notes in my head. Like, my notes is actually full of random phrases.
Right.
Random. It's like a diary of
random phrases.
Give
me one random phrase.
Let me find one. Wait, I put my phone.
So you write them too?
Yeah, I told you my notes is like full of like random phrases that like probably popped up in conversation or.
For real?
Yeah, because I would learn like from those things.
That's dope.
Yeah, so my like thing
that's
is.
That's dope, because that means inspiration can come from anywhere.
Exactly.
That's really mad.
And there's also a whole lot of. Okay, this kind of sounds fake deep.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the fake deep. Let's hear it.
Okay, it says thinking is a luxury, a break from survival mode.
Okay, it is a luxury.
Yeah, I think I was in a situation where I was so grateful to be making money off of concepts and, you know, thinking and my ideas. And yeah, because a lot of people, they don't have time to think or conceptualize because they're constantly in survival mode, like, you know, like people like my parents or, you know, they don't have time to say, you know, I want to do this super artsy thing where I decorate the whole.
And I might make money from it.
And I might just, you know, people don't. So I think thinking is a luxury. But yeah, those are one of those random phrases.
I agree though. I agree. Like I feel grateful. I've been feeling grateful for probably the last month. Just solely based on like what I do for a living. Like I know sometimes it gets hard and I get very emotional, rather depressed at just like the state of everything and how my mind plays games with me on how if I'm really actually getting somewhere.
Yeah.
You just gave me and said our time is up.
Okay. Damn, that sucks. I hope the camera didn't pick that up. Just like 5 more minutes.
Even if it does.
yeah, it's gonna. But yeah, like so I just noticed that like, yo man, what I do has given me such a bigger, higher way of feeling, and feeling in a sense of just being grateful for being able to literally wake up and run errands for actually what I like. What I like.
In a really.
It's a mind fuck.
We're very.
But then it's a double-edged sword, because then sometimes it's just like, damn, will this actually work? And will I actually one day be able to do what I need to do? And not necessarily money-based, but just do what you want to do. Like, what if I want to travel the world my whole life? Yeah, the freedom, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so going to the last thing of our show, it's called Inspiration 101. I know, might suck. I know the title sucks. Gonna change it for the next season.
Okay.
But you know what you have to do. You just need to tell us like your mantra. One mantra. What is one of your mantras that carry you?
One of the mantras that carry me. We're all alone in this together. Another one would be.
We're all alone in this together.
Yeah.
It's like a rapping phrase. What do they call it? They call me a double entendre. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those.
It kind of is, you know.
It's
even like the direction that my art is taking is just like focuses on these feelings that tend to isolate ourselves, but that's something that brings us together, you know. That's something that connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, one more mantra.
Constantly challenge yourself. Don't do it if it's too easy. Don't do it if it's too easy, because then you're not growing. You need to be doing things that you can't do, that you think you can't do.
Right.
constantly throw yourself in the deep end. It's toxic, but you won't regret it.
I hear you. But anyway, thank you for watching this episode of Dead Radio. Like, comment, subscribe. I know it took me a second to think out because it's so awkward. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch us on part 2 of our season finale with an extra guest. Or well, another guest, but you know what I mean. Anyway, for me, Bang is dead, and Shala the Unicorn. We out.
Later, guys.
Brah.
And you're live on Dead Radio.